Hello, everybody, and thank you for listening continuously to Radio Entrepreneurs as we continue to push and promote more stories every day, as we stream more stories every day on Radio Entrepreneurs. Over 6,000 guests and more during this time of great change and time to adapt for all leaders and entrepreneurs. Our next guest, Deborah Danger, owner of Danger Law. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Tell us about Danger Law.
So Danger Law started out as just me. I graduated from law school when I was in my 40s and thought I had my MBA, so I thought it would be best to just give it a whirl and start a business. And about 5 years ago, I started hiring employees. And together, we all identify as female, as women. We all like serving communities of which we are members. So that's single women entrepreneurs, that's the LGBTQIA population. That's we have a member who just recently joined the Black Lawyers Association. So we like to dwell, thrive, and support our own communities. And so that has a lot of influence on who we serve and the types of clients we like to work with.
I think that's pretty exciting, especially during these times when these communities seem to be finding a stronger voice within our communities, and I support that community. I support that social movement strongly. Have you seen that affecting your practice also?
The movement?
Yeah.
So yes, I will say I and another attorney at the firm we volunteer for the National Lawyers Guild and the Massachusetts Bar Fund. And so we have been rallying volunteers to be available. Thankfully, it hasn't needed. If any of the Black Lives Matter protesters are arrested, we will go down to the jail and bail them out, and so that they can go home and be safe, because in lockup, one of the first things they take away is your mask. And so it's been nice for us to rally together and to get behind that unprecedented wave and movement and be a part of it. It's why we all went to law school, to help.
Interesting. Now you do a lot of work with people who are cognitively impaired. Can you talk to us a little bit about that as well?
Yes. So even before this situation, I found it very satisfying to work with people who are older, people who are aging, a lot of people with families to support them, but many people who are solo agers, who have no friends, no family, no neighbors that they trust. And so helping them figure out how to navigate the world, either as their capacity diminishes or they prepare for their capacity to diminish. And I will say that many of them in this time of like they were okay with supportive services and neighbors coming by, and now because of the isolation, they've really lost a lot of ground, and so they're reaping some of the benefits of this planning. And I'm also getting some emergency calls from people who didn't.
You know, I do a lot of work with businesses in transition, and a lot of family businesses. You see this as an ongoing issue. A lot of times I hear it as, you know, dad doesn't seem to have his fastball anymore. And what it does is it creates this very unhealthy dynamic of rigidity, anger, and inappropriate behavior on all sides. And I don't know, have you experienced, since this is a business show, I'm wondering, have you been in the middle of any of these situations as well?
So I will say I'm in the middle of that situation. You know, I am in my late 50s, and you know, in addition to some of the work I do with incapacity people, I'm an estate planner. So I feel like it's incumbent on my clients and my staff that I have a plan. And so, you know, my mission statement, everyone at work is working to make me be dispensable, because if I go down in a fiery crash, I don't want to have that on me. And so working with family businesses and even solo practitioners who, I mean, attorneys who love to die at our desk. It's not always feasible. It's not always possible. And it's not always the best plan. Right. So working with people, doing simple just a power of attorney and a healthcare proxy is an act of love. I mean, it's not admitting that you can't do it. It's just preparing for the day that you get tired of doing it, or you can't do it, or sadly something unexpected happens. So at a minimum, they should do that. But as you said, having conversations, talking about it ahead of time, having a plan, having a benchmark. Well, when you pay your mortgage 4 times, how about we make that the reason when I step in, because 4 times a month is not a good sign. Like maybe you're not doing it so well. So being transparent and open, because so often people treat this like it's shameful or something to be embarrassed about. And it's just part of life.
Well, I'm a big fan of paying it forward, but not when it comes to mortgages. So I'm glad you like my humor. And I'm in my mid 60s, and I'm telling you, I've been trying to do the same thing and planning things out, but I think I get resistance from people around me. It's funny how that happens. I think I initiated it, and I've always tried to initiate it, but I do get resistance. I think people sort of like the status quo on all levels. And I find that
I agree, but I will say one of the things that's compelling for many people, not all people, is for many of us, our business is our most valuable asset. It structures our day. We plan to retire from it, or take residuals from it, or transition it, or pass it on to our kids. And so if you put it in that context, that think about if something happens to you and you can't go to work unexpectedly for a week, and no one knows where the checkbook is, and no one has authority to run the business. At least if you are temporarily incapacitated and you come back, there's got to be value. So instead of giving up, think of it as bulletproofing, or at least allowing yourself to be more nimble and mobilized and preserve value.
I think you're 100% right. That's what I try to do, and I try to do that with my clients as well. I don't think that people should be waiting for signs to start this process. Would you agree with that?
I do. All right, let me give you another perspective, which is so supply and demand. Every baby boomer, we all know how now more than ever with the PPP loan, we know how.
I'm a baby boomer.
Right. With the PPP loan, we now have some insights to how many small businesses there are that keep our economy going. Now, if I want to sell my business, I know I'm not the only one, because we're all cashing out. We are all looking for the best value. So don't you think that if I have a succession plan and I know that my business will go on without me, I can get more money? Like, it's just a pretty basic business decision that if you have to choose between my business, which has 4 legs, and someone else's business, which has no legs, I'm going to get the greater value. And someone's going to end up on the short end of that stick. And hopefully it's none of your clients.
Great. I think this is all good advice. Always quick interviews. We've been speaking with Deborah Danger of Danger Law. I love the name, but I guess you had no choice. That's the name you were given at birth. So, but it did work out. But
it turns out it's a pretty awesome marketing tool as well.
It's a great name, and you're not Rodney Dangerfield, that's for sure. That's so correct. But if somebody was looking for you and Danger Law, how would we find you?
So all the information is right somewhere behind my head. Can you read it?
Oh yeah, it's like a business card with your face on it.
Okay, all right, there you go. So I will say I like to answer the phone myself. So when you call this number, I'm the one that answers it, because you didn't call to leave me a message. You called to talk to me. I check, like most people under COVID and even before, I ravenously check my email. And there's lots of information on the website about the areas we practice, the other attorneys that I work with. We're in the office every day, at least with one person. So if you feel like you need to come knock on a door, I can't guarantee anyone's going to open it, but we are fully functional and operational and happy to see clients. That's
great. We've been speaking with Deborah Danger, owner of Danger Law, and I know you also are doing, you've done some seminars or doing seminars with Sandra Lundy. Maybe you'll come back, the 2 of you together, and do something with us as we progress through the year.
I would love that.
Good. Remind everybody, this is Radio Entrepreneurs. I am the diminishing Jeffrey Davis, this is Radio Entrepreneurs. I still remember that. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll be on to our next story soon.